It's part 2 of my review on Aerre, and sadly, I have some tea. Now, after my last purchase, I went online and left a little review just to let people know how good the fragrances are. And every time you post a review, instantly or near instantly, the review will pop up on their website. But interestingly, I noticed if you left a review of 3 or under, they didn't post it, which is really disappointing given just how good these fragrances are. They really don't need to be shady. But with that, let's jump into the review. And today we'll be focusing on fragrances which are a sweet floral, which is really where my heart lies. With all 3 containing middle notes of jasmine and a base note of vanilla. Odyssey number 5, inspired by Armani's My Way. Of all the fragrances I've smelt from Aerre, this one might be the furthest off from the inspiration. Now, don't get me wrong, this fragrance is beautiful, with notes I love, like jasmine, orange blossom, and tuberose. And unlike many fragrances out there, they really do successfully combine white florals and citrus. The only problem for me is that it really does lean a bit too much into the citrus. I do love bergamot, it's in most of the fragrances that I wear, but that team with the pear and the black currant really does lean quite acidic, and it's beautiful, it's fresh, but it does not give me that indulgent white floral scent. So sadly she's going back, but not so sad because I do have risk-free returns. Disco Skin, inspired by Jimmy Choo's I Want You, has the best name from the entire line. I became obsessed with it on the name alone. And funnily enough, it really does smell like a vintage scent, something that you would smell in the disco era. Upon first spray, you are enveloped in this white floral, this peach, this peppery note that hits you from the middle note of red lily. And something interesting to note about this fragrance, which is very obvious in the inspiration and across many high-end fragrances like Tom Ford, is it does lean to have a bit of a plasticky smell. Not synthetic, plastic, which again, must be like a rich person thing because it's in a lot of them, which honestly I didn't mind and I actually grew to really like it. But sadly she's going back for one main reason. Now, I don't see fragrances as being gendered, but I'm going to use those, is it pronouns when it comes to scent? Just so you can understand just what they smell like. And after a little while, this fragrance dropped all those heady, luxe, intoxicating white florals and developed a quite marine and aquatic scent that lent quite masculine. And again, this would smell fantastic on a lot of people, of any gender really. But for me, it just was not old lady enough. And I need to smell like an old woman. And now to the fragrance that introduced me to something new. Folded Light, inspired by Prada's Paradox. Smells exactly like the inspiration, only better. This, like with Disco Skin, actually smells like a heightened version of the original. Like the originals were made with synthetic fragrances, whereas these actually lean to be a bit stronger and more like finer fragrances. With notes like neroli, pear, black currant, orange flower, jasmine, amber, and honey. This fragrance is a really intoxicating, sweet white floral that will envelop every single room. And despite having quite a complex scent profile, is more linear of the fragrances. The only problem with this fragrance is this is the first perfume ever to make me feel nauseous and give me a migraine, which is really sad because it is exquisite. It is so beautiful. I just, sadly, obviously can't wear it.